now. Otherwise, just come into wide-legged. And if that's too much on your hips for a wide-legged child's pose, maybe just kind of bring those knees nice and close. And you can stack a blanket here and just rest your arms. Maybe rest your forehead on your arms and do this. Otherwise, you can have a wide-legged child's pose with blanket and pillows back there. You can elevate that head a little bit. So find what's comfortable that's going to help you to settle into your space. And if you're having a little stiff low back today, maybe bring those arms out nice and far in front. And without tensing the shoulders, press those hands and forearms down. Maybe the side of the head or the forehead to the ground. And as you do that, bring those buttermilk biscuits close to those heels. My nephews are the ones that call the glutes buttermilk biscuits. So in case you've forgotten, that's the reference. And allow yourself to drop into the space, guys. Maybe noticing that low belly just kind of drop towards the earth on the inhale, and then the chest fills. And we exhale, let the breath leave the body. Inhale, let it all hang out. Chest drops towards the floor. And then exhale, let the breath go. Inhale. Exhale. Dropping into the essence of our asanas today. What is the essence of child's pose? Child's pose doesn't mean your knees are a certain way, or the glutes come to the heels, or that your arms are a certain way, but rather it's a way of coming inward. So we're going to remember that in our postures today, looking at different variations. Moving from the essence outward to different expressions. And as we have a holiday approaching us next week, we can bring that into that space. We may not be gathering around a table or laughing, cooking in huge groups or with family. Maybe some people will, and some people are. And that's their expression of what the essence of Thanksgiving is. So within this next coming week, we can remember the essence of these holidays, what they really mean. So carrying that practice off the mat with us. What is the essence of next Thursday? On your next exhale, just begin to notice the breath leaving the body again. On the inhale, glance up at the hands and let's walk the hands over towards the right side. A little side body stretch, maybe stack the left hand on top of the right. And let the breath go. Another inhale. On the exhale, bring that left hand off the right hand. Now maybe reach the right hand up to the sky. So the left hand is on the ground, the right hand kind of reaches. It's a little twist, maybe it's a big twist. Maybe just gonna rotate that wrist. So feel that shoulder opening. There's a shoulder action for you. And then lower the hand down to the ground. So side by side to the left hand. And then on an exhale, walk the hand to the middle. Let's rock up to our hands and knees. Drop the belly, find a cow. And then exhale, drop it back to child's pose. Let the breath leave the body. Inhale, look at the hands. Walk the hands to the left. Stack the right hand on top of the left. Drop that head down and breathe in and out. On the next out breath, anchor that right hand on the ground. Bring that left hand up to sky. And then rotate that wrist. And with that wrist rotate, you might notice it goes to the elbow and the shoulder, opening up the shoulder. And we're not torquing it, we're not cranking it, we're just opening that left hand towards the left and then moving the wrist, getting some mobility. And then lower that right hand down to meet the left, so they're side by side. Stretch out that side body by dipping the head down. Then inhale, glance up at the hands, walk the hands to the middle. Exhale, press up to hands and knees. Drop the belly, inhale, lift the gaze. And now exhale, let's round the spine, tucking that pelvis, gaze towards the navel. Let's pause here for a couple of breaths. Maybe you even come on to the toes of the feet rather than the tops of the feet, and just stretch out the bottoms of the feet as we press the earth away with the hands. And now come onto the tops of the feet, drop the belly, lift the heart. And then exhale, find a neutral spine, drop the hips back. Child's pose, stretch the arms wide in front. Yeah. Let the breath go. Inhale, floating up to tabletop. Bring those hands underneath the shoulders. Now bend the elbows. We're going to bring that crown of the head towards the floor. And if you don't remember how to find that crown, bring that back of the hand between the eyes and then that middle finger where it lands. That's the crown of the head. So it's like a Three Stooges look, and then the middle finger, that's the crown. That's where we want on the earth. So we're in our tabletop with the crown of the head on the earth. And then maybe you bring those hands towards the heels. It's a variation of our rabbit pose, kind of waking up the body, invigorating the brain with some fresh blood in our rabbit pose. Inhale. Now exhale, gently kind of move that head so the hips go back, maybe you're on the forehead, bring the hands forward, slowly rise up to tabletop, hands underneath the shoulders, then drop the belly, lift the heart and the head. Now exhale, drop back to child's pose, hands come far in front, stretching out that low back. Now inhale, rolling up, drop the belly, lift the heart, cow. And now round into cat. Really tuck the pelvis, guys. Press the floor away. You come onto the balls of the feet, stretch the soles of the feet out if you want. And now drop the belly. Any variation with those toes of the feet. And then round the spine. Moving through a couple cat-cows. Exhale to round. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart. Bring those shoulder blades together. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. And now exhale, finding kind of a flat back. It's not necessarily flat, but it's not rounded and it's not a cow. And now bend the elbows, maybe lower that nose down. You can pause at the bottom. And then exhale, press up. Now bring the tops of the feet to the earth if they're not there already. Sit back into child's pose. Reach out those hands nice and wide. And now inhale, let's float it forward. Come down onto your belly. Now you can lay here on your belly with the hands, maybe just resting underneath the chin. So you can be in crocodile. And that's just a really, really gentle back bend. Relax the glutes in this too. So hang out in crocodile with the elbows out, maybe mat distance, chin on the hands or on the fists. You can be here. Or maybe you want to bring those elbows underneath the shoulders and rise a little higher for Sphinx. 2 more breaths. Be the breath. Exhale, lower everything down to the ground. Hands come underneath the shoulders. Let's press up and back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Landing in downward facing dog. And then any expression of downward facing dog, what's the essence? Our essence is our heart is higher than the head. And the sits bones reach for sky. So however you manage that, find that in your space. Maybe the knees bend a lot or a little, maybe the hands are wide. Some of you with the shoulders, the hands wide is your downward facing dog. We all have different ways that our shoulders connect. So find if you need your hands wide, if you need them more narrow. And breathe into your Adho Mukha Svanasana. Feel the back, that low back especially, expanding by giving a breath to that space. And now let's exhale. Let's roll forward, Palakasana. Plank pose, hips lift, shoulders stack over the wrist. Now exhale, lower down the knees, and then sit back in a child's pose. And let out a breath. Inhale, let's roll it forward all the way onto our stomachs. Legs be nice and long behind us or below us, and the feet are maybe mat distance apart. Bring those arms out in front. You can be in crocodile with your fist underneath your chin. You can hang out there, or maybe you bring the arms in front, thumbs towards the sky. And then we inhale, those thumbs reach for the sky, the heart lifts just a little. Make sure the shoulders aren't in the ears. There's space between the ears and the shoulders. And maybe you bring the right foot off the ground and then the left for a variation of Shalabhasana. And if you're not in Shalabhasana, find that crocodile pose. Breathe in. Exhale, lower down the legs, lower down the hands, lower down the side of the face. And then exhale, bring the hands to the floor, press up and back. Find child's pose or find your downward facing dog. And breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. Let the head hang. Maybe sway the head side to side, nod the head, yes. Shake the head, no. Maybe notice that spine as you do either one of those. And now, if it feels right for you, ground that left foot, ground the hands into the earth, bend that right leg, bring the knee up, stack the hips, if that feels okay on the hips. If not, just find your regular downward facing dog. Reach that right foot back, try to keep the hips in the middle of the mat. You can make some circles with the knees, or you can just have a static three-legged down dog. And then bring that knee and the hips back to stack over the earth. Bring that right foot forward, step it between the hands. Let's pause here. The leg bent, the heart hovers. That back knee can be lowered if you want, or it can be nice and lifted and extended. Breathe in. Now exhale, plant the hands, step the right foot back, find downward facing dog again. Inhale, draw the left foot up, bend the knee, stack the hips. Reach that left foot back far towards the right, and then let's rotate the knee, making some circles with that knee, but only if that feels okay on those hips. And then exhale, bring the left foot to meet the right. Find that downward facing dog, feel it again in the body, and then we'll inhale to step the foot forward. Lower that right knee or keep it lifted. We're gonna hover over the thigh, so our hands are still either hovering on the floor or just on the floor or on blocks. Let's breathe in. And now exhale, step the right foot forward to meet the left, ground the feet, bend the knees. Let's rise up to stand. Inhale. Exhale to lower the hands, maybe to the heart or to the side of the body. Blink the eyes, open, close, roll the shoulders up, back and down. Tadasana. Now in our Tadasana today, we're just going to explore some variations so we can keep our feet, hip distance apart. Some people like their feet touching, their big toes touching. Roll the shoulders back and down. And now you can just kind of stand There's a little bit of effortlessness in the legs. Or an option, if you want to try it with a block, you can bring the block between the thighs and rotate those thighs towards one another to hold that block. And then ground through the feet, shoulders up, back, and down, any variation with the hands. Now, as those thighs rotate in towards one another, imagine those feet pulling outward. And maybe you feel some activity in the outer hips. So that's a little bit more active Tadasana. The essence of Tadasana is to ground, kind of to reset and to set. So whatever the essence is, find the essence and then your expression, however you want to express your mountain pose today. If you want, you can remove that block, but keep those thighs rotating inward. Let's breathe in. Yeah, exhale. Keep those thighs active if you want. Feet pulling towards the edges of the mat. Those outer hips are engaged. Just breathe in, raise the arms up. Slight back bend if you want, maybe not for that low back, and then exhale, fold it forward. Hang here like a rag doll, grab opposite elbows, sway side to side. Exhale, and maybe really emphasize that head being heavy, and let that gravity stretch out that low back. Now exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back, finding our Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then our downward facing dog. Again, explore where are your hands in your downward facing dog. We've got different anatomy in all of us. So some people's downward facing dog is arms wide, hands wide. Let's breathe in. Exhale, look up at the hands, step the right foot forward, lower the left knee down. Inhale, let's rise up today. And really send those hips forward so we can open up the psoas. Let's breathe in. And then we'll exhale, send the hips back, pointing the toes towards the sky. And maybe you surrender over that front leg, feeling some opening in the low back. Exhale, rock it forward, drop that left hip, rise up again. And then exhale, bring that left hip over the left knee. So there's not so much of a forward lean. This time we're going to lean out, so hips stack over the left knee. Drop the hands, interlace the hands behind the back, and just shine the heart forward. We're not back bending, we're just going to reach those arms back to open up the chest. Breathe in. Now exhale, release the hands, let them float out to the side, then up above the head. Exhale, frame the front foot, come onto the ball of the left foot, step the feet back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And now we can lower down knees, chest, chin. That might feel okay right there. Watch that low back. And if you want, press back to child's pose from here, or lower down the belly, lift the heart for baby cobra. Inhale. Exhale, feel the essence. If you're in baby cobra, we have a little back bend and a heart lift. If you're in child's pose, we're going to expand that low back. Breathe in. Now exhale, press up and back from wherever you are to Adho Mukha Svanasana. And let the breath go. And then invite the breath in. And then let it go. And then inhale, step the left foot forward, lower the right knee down. We're going to rise up. We can drop that right hip as we do, but lift up and out. Arms reach for the sky. And we're dropping into the hip here on this first low lunge. So that left knee might come over the ankle, but feel like the gravity and the weight of your hip into those hip flexors. Let's breathe in. And then exhale, sigh, send the hips back. Let's bring the toes towards the sky. So we're opening up our hip flexors and our hamstrings here, which support that low back as well. So find your Ardha Hanumanasana. Flex the feet towards the sky. Surrender over this long leg. Breathe in. And now exhale, let's rock it forward. But keep the right hip over that right knee this time because we're going to rise up. Breathe in. Exhale, draw the hands down, interlace behind the back or on those hips. You guys hopefully know by now. But any variation when we have our hands back, because it's the chest opener, that's the essence. The essence is to open the chest. which we can do by hands on the hips or arms back. We're just opening the shoulders, it's not a back bend. We're just opening up the chest, the heart. Breathe in. Exhale, let the breath go. Now let the hands release and kind of float to the side, up to the sky. Now frame that front foot, curl the back toes under. Now let's step the right foot to meet the left. Exhale. And inhale in our forward fold. Yeah, nice. Breathe in. Exhale, bend the knees, rise up all the way to stand. Hands to the heart. And then find your expression of Tadasana. Is it active or is it a little bit more passive? Notice the beat of your heart. The temperature of your body. Inhale. Exhale, ground the left leg, step the right foot back. Give me on the ball that right foot, and maybe you pivot that heel down. Either way that you want to express this crescent, or maybe you want to be in Virabhadrasana 1. Let the arms up above the head. Keep the hands together. Press the hands into one another. That's going to activate those muscles of anterior serratus that grip to the side of the ribs. So maybe draw your awareness there. With the arms overhead, press the thumb and the pinkies together. You notice a slight activation in the side of the body, maybe not. Along those ribs, breathe in. Exhale, draw hands to the heart. And now fold forward for humble warrior. As we fold, bring the arms out like a T, and then maybe they come behind you on your hips so the elbows reach towards one another, or you can interlace the hands and float those hands towards the sky. Namabada Hasta Virabhadrasana. Breathing in and out. Breathe in. Exhale, breathe out. Inhale, let's float those hands to the sky, our elbows towards the sky as we lift the heart with the chest. Shoulders come over the hips. As we lift out of our fold, release the hands, let them float to the side. Let's bring them up to the sky, guys, and straighten that front leg. And then fold forward, either coming to a flat back with the heart parallel to the floor, or you can go all the way over that leg. Parsvottanasana. So any variation here. Maybe you lean into that left foot and step that right foot forward just a little bit so the stance is a little narrower. You feel a little more stable. So you see that different variation. Wide stance, shorter stance, maybe a bent leg in the front. I'm gonna bend my leg. Breathe in. Now exhale, bend that knee a lot so we can rise up. The hands come down, the shoulders come up, the head rises. Inhale. Exhale, straighten that leg. Good, breathe in. Exhale, pivot that right foot towards the long edge of the mat. Maybe heel toe it back a little bit so the stance is wider. You can inhale, reach the arms one end to the other. Bring that right hand down, that back leg, reach up to sky. Exhale. Maybe you bring that left hand back a little bit to open the shoulder. Maybe you bring it over across the head and then sweep it across the sky, little shoulder mobility. But notice how that low back responds. And then exhale back to our extended arms, bend that front knee, here we are. Virabhadrasana 2, if we bend that knee a little or a lot, any variation with the feet. Kind of sink into those hips if that feels right. If it doesn't feel too hot, maybe pivot that front foot to the toe space, the long edge. Pivot the back feet to the corner. I'm just gonna sink in. Check out that knee, but feel into the hips. Breathe in. Exhale. Inhale, straighten the leg, bring the palms together. And exhale, bring the hands apart, the knee bends. Inhale, palms together, straighten the leg. Then exhale. Let's pause here. Let's offer ourselves, giving ourselves a moment here to feel into this Virabhadrasana 2. What do we notice in our body? What is the essence of Virabhadrasana 2 for you and you and you? It's a different sensation for all of us, different experience, so let it be your own. But notice it in the body. Notice it in the mind and in the soul. Exhale, bring the hands to the hips. Let's pivot that left foot towards the long edge. Now exhale, let's roll, bend that knee and roll over to the right for a side lunge. You can lift the heart a lot, or maybe you want to bring the heart parallel with the ground. Inhale. And exhale. Now inhale, let's rise, come to the middle, pause in the middle. Pivot that right foot towards the short edge. Bend that knee, exhale, sink into the hip as much as you want, and then bring those arms out to kind of bloom into your Virabhadrasana 2. What do you do with your hips? Do you straighten the hips? Do you not? Breathe in. Exhale. Another breath in. And then we'll exhale, bring the hands to the hips. Let's kind of shift the shoulders and the elbows towards that bent leg. Bring the right hand down. Pivot on the ball of that left foot. Now we're going to find our crescent or our Virabhadrasana 1. And then we'll rise up. Bring the hands overhead, pressing the hands together, especially that thumb and pinky. See if we activate that side body. Draw the belly button into spine. And now feel your expression. What is the essence of this for you? Do you notice it more in the hips, the knee, the calves? Breathe in and out. Now exhale, find those hands behind the back and maybe towards the hips. And then we'll humbly bow forward. That chest hovering on the inside of that thigh or maybe over the thigh. Humble warrior. Nice job, guys. And we're breathing. And as we notice what the essence of these shapes is for our particular physical body, mental body, and subtle body, we bring that awareness to ourselves. So we become more aware of our true essence, which is peace, which is that supreme universal consciousness. So exhale as we rise up, shoulders lifting over the hips, releasing those hands. Yeah, letting them float either up and then letting them come down, or they come all the way up. Then we'll straighten that front leg. And then exhale, folding maybe halfway, hinging at the waist for our pyramid pose. Maybe bend the knee, bring that left foot forward towards that right foot, finding the stance and that base that's right for you. And then finding whether the heart is parallel with the ground or if it's hovering over that thigh. Find the bend in the leg that suits you. And then be in the essence. The essence of yourself and the essence of our time on Saturdays at 10:45. Sharing this space and connecting to one another. One more breath. Exhale, bend that leg just a little bit as we rise up. You can go halfway and pause, or you can lift all the way up. Exhale, let those hands come to the side, or maybe they stay above the head and you want to press those thumbs and pinkies together for a breath or two. And then when you're ready, you can step that left leg back, heel toe it back, the left foot towards the long edge, and then bend that right knee. And then we'll find that Virabhadrasana 2 again. And exhale. Breathe in. Exhale, drop that left hand back. We're going to sweep the right hand towards the sky, this time with a bent front leg. And then we'll straighten it and get that right hand to sky. And now feel into the shape. Maybe that front leg bends a little bit still. Notice a little back. Maybe that right hand goes back. You can move it forward and back for a little rotation and mobility in the shoulder. And then exhale, bring the arms to reach from short edge to short edge. Straighten that leg. Exhale. And now bend that front leg as we bring the palms above the head. And then just move through this flow. Go with your own breath. Exhale, hands come down and we straighten that leg. Or inhale and we do that. Breathe out. Exhale. Moving with the breath. Exhale, hands come down. Breathe in. Exhale. Now next time those hands come above the head, pause there with that leg bent, hands above the head. Maybe interlace the fingers, the index and the thumb remain out. Breathe in. Exhale, straighten that leg, pivot the right foot towards the long edge. Now let's exhale over to the left for our side lunge skandasana, and then lower the hands down or fold and surrender, open that thigh, breathing in and out. Exhale. Inhale. Now exhale, let's roll towards the middle, straighten those legs, lifting up out of the fold. Shoulders over the hips, breathe in. Now exhale over towards the right. And now from here, if you want, you can bring those toes to the sky, only if that feels right. And lower down. And then exhale, toes to the sky. And then rotate them down. Now exhale, float over to the left. Inhale, toes to the sky. Good, guys. Exhale down. Toes to the sky, inhale. Exhale. Now reach those arms out side to side. Yes, like a skater, like we're speed skating back to the middle. Let's rise up, straighten those legs. Utthita Tadasana, extended mountain pose. Breathe in. Exhale, feel the essence of being grounded, but we're extending your energy out. Mountain pose. A little bit of that outward energy. That extroversion here, that's the word, breathing. Exhale, hands come to the hips, pivot the feet towards the front of the mat. Bend that front leg, the right foot is lifted maybe in the heel, maybe it's lifted a lot or a little. If you lower that heel down, it's gonna stretch that calf a little more. If you lift up, out, and pressing the ball of the foot, it's more the front of that quad. So feel what is going to serve you in your practice today, in your physical body, in your mind. Let's inhale, reach up for the sky. Exhale, fold and hinge over that bent leg. Bring the hands on the inside of the foot. Pivot that left foot out. And then drop that knee out to the side, finding lizard. And if that doesn't really feel very good, then just stay with your hands in the middle. And maybe just rock forward and back to stretch the ball of that right foot and kind of get some mobility in that ankle. So if you don't want to drop the knee out, maybe rock forward and back. So just feeling into what you need. We have these micro essences, right, in each single pose, but then we have this collective essence, which is honoring ourselves, honoring the needs of our being. And wherever you're at, if the knee is out, bring it in. If you're rocking side to side, find some stillness. Let's inhale. Now exhale, bring that left foot back. Maybe lift it up a little bit to step the left foot back so you've got some room. Palakasana, breathe in. Now exhale, lower those knees down. Lower the heart down as you bend the elbows. Exhale, press it up. And then sit back, child's pose. Toes can be bent or they can be tops of the feet, flat on the floor. And now rolling forward, kind of coming into tabletop, bending the elbows, lowering the heart, pressing up, and then coming back to child's pose. Do that again. Yeah, reach back. And then we'll inhale, roll it forward. Bend the elbows, lowering the heart and the chin. Exhale, press up and back, child's pose. One more time, inhale, rolling forward, dropping the elbows or bending the elbows, dropping the heart, and then pressing back. This time we'll find downward facing dog, lifting the hips. Child's pose you can always find as well. Now from here, maybe bringing one heel closer to the earth than the other, kind of pedaling out the feet. Let's breathe in. Exhale, find some stillness. Inhale, draw the right foot between the hands, pivot it out to the side. And now here we go. Both hands are inside the foot. The knee can either drop out and that left side kind of floats down, or keep that foot grounded and then you rock back and forth. Maybe close the eyes. And notice how the movement affects the body. Notice if it's penetrating to the core of your being. One more breath. Exhale, that foot comes to the floor flat if it's not there already. If you're rocking forward and back, find some stillness. Now exhale, let's lift up just a little bit, lifting those hips so we can draw that right foot back. Let's find our plank pose for just a breath. Now, remember last week we came onto the tops of the feet? So maybe you want to try that this week again. So it's totally your choice. Find your plank pose. We're going to meet in downward facing dog. So maybe you roll through your chaturanga dandasana. Maybe you just float right on back to downward facing dog. And exhale. Let's breathe in. Exhale, let the breath leave the body. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, glance up with the hands. Step the right foot forward. Ground that right foot. And then step the left foot forward. Let's hang in our Uttanasana. Sway side to side if that feels good. Sometimes I do that automatically. So kind of notice what your body does when you find this Uttanasana. It's kind of usually what you need. If you have a block handy, hopefully you do. I always forget to say it. Bring that block underneath the heart. Place that left hand on the block. Bend the knees. Bring the right hand to sky. And exhale. Close the eye. That right hand doesn't have to come up high. It can come up to the side. We're just twisting a little bit. Opening up the backs of the legs. So feel into that. Exhale, lower the right hand down to the block. Sweep the left hand to sky. Out to the side, or maybe reaching up towards the heavens. Maybe you bend the knees here again, one at a time. Exhale, bring that left hand down towards the block, so it's underneath the heart. Now, yogi's choice here, you can pivot the feet out and sink those hips down into Malasana. In Malasana, you can have your elbows pressing against those knees. The back is a little bit more upright that way, or you can bring the triceps towards those knees, and it's a little more rounded back. Drop the head and the chin to the chest. If that doesn't feel so right on the hips, to sink down that low, find your goddess. Again, it's the essence. What's the essence? It's a little hip opener. So you can find goddess. Maybe you have them shorter together. It's more of a sumo. So find your pose for you. Bring your breath into the shape. Breathe in. Yogi's choice. If you want to bring that left hand towards the ground and reach that right hand to sky, wherever you're at, either in Malasana or goddess, little twist. Yeah. Exhale, bring the hands back to the middle. Arms come out to the side, right hand down, left arm up. The gaze can be towards the lifted hand or towards the lowered hand. So maybe you can even do both and see if your neck has a preference. And then exhale, bring everything back to the middle. And now again, we have another option. If you want to come into your crow pose, you come into your crow pose. Really find that base with the hands. And maybe you don't want to come into crow pose today, but you can still bring some awareness to those shoulders. Maybe you come into downward facing dog and you bend those elbows for kind of our shoulder press. So what's the essence? These are both kind of inversions with the heart. lifted higher than the head, and then the shoulders are active, playing with our balance. Maybe you just want to find a child's pose, whatever works for you. Just a couple breaths wherever you're at. On your next exhale, ground your feet or straighten those arms. Step the feet forward if you're in downward facing dog. Lower those heels down if you were in crow. Bring the hands together. Let's exhale, rise all the way up. And come on the balls of the feet. Then reach the hands above the head for palm tree or talasana. Maybe press the thumb and the pinky together. Bring some awareness to those anterior serratus. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart as we slowly, if we can, lower those heels down. Inhale, bring the breath through the nose, into the body. Exhale, Tadasana. Find your expression of Tadasana. Exhale, let the breath leave the body. Inhale, draw the breath in and ground it into that left foot so we can lift that right foot and set the right foot back. Pivot the right foot towards the long edge. Bring the arms out. Reaching side to side, short to short, and then pivot the left foot towards the long edge. And then find that stance in the feet. We're going to exhale, go over to the right, Skandasana. Inhale, through the middle over to the left. Yeah. Now let's exhale over to the right. Now pause here. Find some stability in that right foot. We're going to ground into that right foot. Draw the arms in if you want. Pivot that left foot. Kind of creep it towards the right foot. Ground into the right foot. Lift that left foot up. Now here's an option. You can rise up, bringing that left foot, turning that left knee out and the foot coming into tree. If that doesn't feel good on the hips, then just bring that knee forward and just rotate it out as much as you need. So we've got tree. Or we can bend that right leg, bring that ankle on top of the thigh, and find our flying pigeon. Our essence is a standing, strong right leg and a little bit of a hip opener. So wherever you find that essence, let it be true for you. Relaxing the shoulders. Good. One more breath. If you're in tree, bring that knee to the middle and lower the foot. If you're in flying pigeon, then straighten that right leg, bring the left knee to the middle, and then draw the left foot down. Here's our mountain pose. Exhale into the essence of your being. Inhale. Exhale, draw the left knee up and out. Let's find our extended mountain pose. Bring those feet maybe closer than you had if they were super wide, maybe wider if you were close. Inhale. Exhale, over to the left. Skandasana on the left side. Ground into the left foot. Inhale. Exhale, creep that right foot towards the left. And then when you're ready, ground into that left foot, lift the right leg up so the right knee lifts. Strong standing leg, lower those shoulders, offer a breath, and either open up that knee to the side for tree. Or maybe the knees in just a little to toe grounds and you just rotate a little. You can bend that left leg a lot and find flying pigeon. And let yourself be in the essence of your practice, of this moment who you are. Exhale, bring that right knee up, straighten that leg if you're in pigeon, bring the knee back to the middle, ground it down, shake out the legs, find your mountain pose. You close the eyes, press the thumb knuckles against the heart, against that sternum. Feel the beating of your heart. Feel the breath entering the body and feeding your entire being with life. Exhale, bend the knees. Let's fold it forward, Uttanasana. That low back, feeling a little relief. Exhale. Let's inhale, step the feet back, finding our Adho Mukha Svanasana. We'll be here for 5 breaths. You can lower down to child's pose if you want. You can bend those elbows, kind of press the shoulders, that crown of the head kind of going towards the ground as you bend the shoulders, or pause in stillness. Let's lengthen the exhales. And lower down those knees to the ground. Bring those hands under the shoulders. Now with that crown of the head in mind, bend those elbows, lower the crown of the head towards the floor for our rabbit pose. Maybe you come onto the balls of your feet and you bring your forehead close, close, close to the knees, the crown of the head still on the floor, and you reach your hands for your heels or the calves. Sometimes I bring my hands on the outside of my thighs and then my arms on the outside of my thighs and my hands on the insides of my ankles. So I have that stability and balance in the back of the body. So just the crown of the head is as light like a feather on the floor. All the benefits of headstand here. Now exhale, kind of untangle your arms or your hands wherever they're at. Bring them toward the side of the head. And that option to either sit back in child's pose or to come onto your belly. The entire front of the body on the floor. And pause here. And exhale. On your next exhale, bring those knees, the soles of the feet face the sky, and then just drop the feet over to one side and then another, kind of like windshield wipers. The hips might lift off as the feet fall to the other side. Maybe you make some circles with the feet as they drop side to side. You might notice a little massage on the quads as you do this. And then we'll exhale to send the legs long, and we're going to roll over onto our backs. Adjust those hips so the entire spine is on the floor. Maybe the feet are on the ground. Maybe you hug them into the chest. But when you're ready, we'll all meet with our knees drawn into our chest and we'll rock side to side. This is really great for that low back because it brings some circulation into the area, especially when you rock side to side. So let's do this for a few breaths. Slowing down the heart race by slowing down the breath. And then we'll exhale, bring our peace fingers to the big toes and maybe the outer foot. Find a happy baby. As we draw those knees kind of towards the body, our hands can be on our calves too, guys, if they can't reach the feet. But as those knees come towards the body, that opens up the hamstring. And that's all part of our low back, going to affect our low back. And now if there's something that you'd like to do that we didn't quite get to, I invite you to find that now before Shavasana, or maybe you find Shavasana right away. If you want to come into a supported bridge, you can lift those hips off the floor, rest the sternum, or not the sternum, the sacrum on a clock. Sometimes that feels really nice in the low back. Or go right into Shavasana. So just let yourself go. Allow yourself to rest in the essence of who you are. Allow the prana, that life force energy, flow through your body on the breath. As you rest in Shavasana, every cell is remembering its true nature as spirit. Relaxing the palms of the hands and the soles of the feet. The fronts and backs of the pelvis and the shoulders. Scan your body and notice if you're flexing or contracting any muscles. Sometimes we don't even realize it, so just let the body come into ease. Good, yes, let that breath go. Let the toes relax and the fingers relax. The tongue fall from the roof of the mouth.
Begin to notice the breath. Begin to notice your heartbeat. We'll close with some words from Rainier Maria Rilke. He wrote, "Go into yourself and see how deep the place is from which your life flows." Go into yourself and see how deep the place is from which your life flows. That's that essence. And if you'd like to roll over and meet in a seated position, I invite you to start making your way there without rush. Any variation with the hands, maybe their palms up or down in the lap or at your heart's beat. We'll close together with our own shanthi. We'll exhale and inhale. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Namaste. Thanks, guys.